Hey, what's going on, everybody? We about to do another segment here with special guest. It's got an interesting story to tell, so we're gonna give him a second to join us here, so we could dive on in, man. You guys already know what it is, man. It's Fix Pro Tips, your one-stop shop for business, sports, and entertainment. So we're gonna give this man a chance to join us live and get his story out to the people, man. He's been making his rounds, kind of letting everybody know what his story is, and so he is now coming on to our platform and looking to share it. He goes by the name of Paul Lamar Hunter, and I'll let him dive into the details of his story. Let me see how we get him in here. But yeah, man. Other than that, while we wait, I'll get you guys caught up. We got a couple new segments out. It's titled 10 Reasons, and so we'll be diving into that. All right, we got Mr. Hunter in the room right now. Let's see how we get him to join. Let's send the invite. Let's send the invite and see if we get Mr. Hunter in the live. What's going on, champ? Still getting ready for the fight. About to be joined by Paul Lamar Hunter. Just got an interesting story to share. And so here we are, Fix Pro Tips. Blessed, that's right. We all blessed, man. We all saw another day, so we are all blessed.
Hey,
There he
what's
is.
up?
What's
What's
going
up?
on,
What's up?
brother?
How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Appreciate you joining in.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me an
Absolutely.
opportunity to come on your show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was intrigued with the story, and I was like, I got so many questions. So I was like, what better way to get the answers than from the man himself?
Yes, yes indeed. Yes indeed. And you know what? It's a perfect month to talk about this story because it's Black History Month. And so
Absolutely.
and it's a true American story how my mother was born in Vicksburg, Mississippi. My father was born in Fayetteville, Mississippi, and how the two joined together at the age of 17 and 16. And they just began this relationship, and the relationship lasted for a long, long time. So my mother is the first woman to birth 21 natural children by my dad. So it's a Black history moment. 17 of us living today, um, 63 grandchildren, and 87 great grandchildren are alive today. So we are highly, highly favored, and we are highly blessed, just to leave um, and continue a legacy that my mom and dad had laid a long time ago.
Gotcha. Yeah, I when I saw it, I was like, I've always been intrigued by like large families, and I was like, this is like the largest of large, right? Um,
Oh, most definitely.
so uh, I kind of went down like a little rabbit hole, and I did find that I don't know if it's all from the same father and mother, but I did find like other families out there that had like similar numbers, and so I guess my first question to you is, um, how was it growing up in a house with 21, and then you're the 19th, so that makes you like one of the younger ones.
I, I am the baby boy in the family, and I have two sisters under me. And those two sisters that's underneath me are divas. They wow, they still active, and I can tell you this: growing up in a family of 20 siblings, we had to listen to our older siblings because mom and dad had to work. So the older siblings became like a substitute mom, a substitute dad for us, and
Gotcha.
they the older siblings made sure that we went to school. They made sure that we did homework. Um, Even though we ran around the house and gave them a hard time, they spanked us. But it was all for love and making sure that we turn out to be the perfect person that God wanted us to be. But in our home on Wednesday nights was Bible study nights for the Hunter family. And my mom and dad and members of the church would come over and we would have Bible study. That was very critical in our life. Thursday, we had a band, and it was called the Hunter Family Band. And we sung at different churches, different organizations. And then on Sunday, I remember a time when mom and dad would start preparing the Sunday meal on Saturday night of what they're going to cook. And then on Sunday in the morning, they would get up at 6 in the morning and start cooking. And had my older siblings in the kitchen with them because they always told us one day you will become adults, so you need to learn how to cook. So they taught my older siblings how to cook, and they taught us how to cook. And after the meal was prepared, we will go to church at 10 o'clock in the morning. By 11:30, we were right back at home. The pastor would come over, or the assistant pastor would come over and bless the food, and we would just eat and have a good conversation. So I really do miss those days because in this society today, I don't see a lot of young people eating at the table anymore with mom and dad or any family members.
Yeah, that's definitely a lost it's a lost thing that that family bonding. You don't see it often. You really have to travel outside of the U.S. to see that. Other countries outside the U.S. really embody what family is, and we lack unity in this country. We lack everything is about individuality versus unity, and you'll be at a dinner table and everyone's on their phone. No one's eating their food. No one's really engaging with each other's day, and so on and so on. So when you speak to that, those are like core family values that have been lost, who knows how many years ago. There's some places, some families that may try to uphold it, but it's definitely not. It's definitely a lost thing that families don't uphold anymore.
Yes, yes.
So uh, walk me through this process because I can't even imagine having to keep track of the names of 20 other siblings. So if would you be able to like spitball the 20 names of how you
I,
had to?
if I had to, I know all of my siblings' name, but I
It's
would not be able to recite the grandchildren's names because 63
yeah,
names is a lot. I can recite some of them, the ones that's older than me, because I have some nieces and nephews that's older than me, and I'm
that,
53 years old.
that's wild. That's wild.
and
That is
don't and please and please do not ask me to recite the great grandchildren because I
yeah,
really don't
that's
know their name.
yeah. So what's with being such a large family, and obviously everybody grows and moves in their own direction. Um, how well do you guys keep in touch? Are you guys connected? Do you guys keep in touch with each other?
You know what? It's interesting coming from a large family. We still have those core values of staying connected with each other. I'm always speaking with my siblings, my sisters, my brothers, and at least about once or twice a week, we always call each other, have a conversation with each other. Right now, at this moment, they are grandparents. Some of them are great grandparents, and we talk about their children, their grandchildren, And me, I have one granddaughter. They ask about my granddaughter, and sometimes they see that my granddaughter have had a birthday. They wish her a happy birthday on Facebook. You know, it's just we are in a different phase in our life at this moment because we're older now. So I'm 53, and I'm the 19th child, and the 20th child is 52. And my baby sister, the 21st child, she's about to become 51. So we are at a different stage in our lives right now.
So was I was thinking about 21 children. Um, about, about how many years would that be of actual cat life?
Well, I can break it down to you. So if you really do the math, my mother stayed pregnant for 15 straight years. So she won more championships than Magic Johnson. She won more championships than Michael Jordan. She won more championships than Tom Brady. She won more championships than Joe Montana.
Got got. So I'm just trying to. I was trying to wrap my head around. That's like 21 pregnancies. It's like that is like even in breeding, it's like what the hell, right? So
Yeah. So
you know,
what's interesting about that is because we were born in Racine, Wisconsin. So the
there's
doctor,
no
the
there. So
doctor, the doctor that deliver 85% of the children, his name is Dr. Fox. So Dr.
that's
Fox deliver about 85% of the Hunter family children in the city of Racine, Wisconsin. So when I started to have children, Dr. Fox delivered my four children. And it's interesting. And after that, he retired.
uh, that's what's up. Yeah, it's funny, I've been to Wisconsin. There's not much to do up there, so I can understand 21.
Yeah, it's not much to do out there because especially during the winter time, you staying in,
Very
you
cold.
out of the cold. Yeah, very, very cold. If you going out to get food, or you going out to shovel the snow, or to keep the start up the car for about 5 to 10 minutes, and
Yeah,
then you're going back in the house.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely so. Coming from Wisconsin, where do you reside? You said you're in San Antonio, correct?
San Antonio, Texas is my home now, and I've been here
Uh,
since 2010. So.
So how was that transition from you? Because that's like night and day. I mean, like entirely from the landscaping to the weather, everything is different. Texas to was I've been all over the country, so I know exactly like night and day. So, what was the biggest adjustment for you going from Wisconsin to
I
Texas?
didn't have any resources. That was one of the biggest uh, issues, that I did not have any resources. Mom and dad was in, city of Racine, siblings in the city of Racine. My children was here. So I had to really look out for myself, knock on doors and build resources myself, build relationships myself. And I learned that this is a huge world. And I tell young people today, you need to go and travel, because my mind in the city of Racine was totally limited. So I thought that the world revolves around Racine, Wisconsin, until I got to San Antonio, Texas, and it does not. So San Antonio is totally different. The weather is great. San Antonio is more family oriented here. And But it's a big city, but it has a small city mentality. And so if you look at the city of Racine, Wisconsin, where I'm from, it's a small city, but it has a big city mentality. That's the totally different from San Antonio to Racine, Wisconsin.
Gotcha, gotcha. I the thing that I feel kind of grabbed my attention was you are the only one to graduate college, correct?
Yes, I am the only one out of 20 siblings to graduate college. And it's a big accomplishment. It's part of Black History Month because I remember when I was in grammar school and struggling academically, had a speech impediment, and the teacher told me that I would never be a college graduate. I would never be a great speaker. But one thing I knew in my heart that if I surround myself with positive men and women, that my paradigm will change, and that's what ended up happening. And I just end up laying the foundation for the Hunter family because no one in my whole entire family ever graduated college. My mother, my father, and so what I did was just lay the foundation. Now a lot of my nieces and nephews, they went on to college, graduated college, have their bachelors, have their master's degree, and I have a nephew right now who's working on his PhD degree. And there's nothing wrong with laying the foundation. So if anybody listen to this interview, there's nothing wrong with becoming the first, because the first person must endure and go through a lot of trials and tribulation to lay the foundation for a family to succeed in life.
Absolutely. And I think that speaks volumes to who you are as a person. And I can relate to that because I'm from New York originally, and I relocated to Florida. And so when I was leaving, I dealt with the why are you leaving? You're not going to make it. You're making a big mistake. And if I would have allowed them to impose their fears upon me, I would have been stuck up there as well. And so I totally understand what it takes to gather yourself, relocate, start from scratch, literally knowing no one out here and building up from the ground up. And so for you to not only be able to do that, but to accomplish, graduating college, and setting the tone, really, really showing everyone that uh, life is not about how you start, but more about how you finish. And you're living proof of that, right? So being the 19th out of 21, that alone is a challenge because I have 4 kids, and sometimes unintentionally I might overlook one over the other on little things, but I can't even imagine 19 out of 21 how many you got to wait your turn essentially, right? Like get in line, right? Yeah, like how many siblings do you share the same month as a birthday?
Well, there's only two in the family, and two of them had
Share.
a birthday last month. My sister Connie and Michael share the same birthday on January 31st. They share the same birthday, different years. So, and then I have two others that say the same birthday, different years. And also, I have two great nieces that share, they both sisters. They share the same birthday, but they was a year apart. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. But so how about you? Like, do you share the same month with any of your siblings?
No, I do not at
Uh,
all. My birthday, I'm the only one that was in October.
all right. So you was in October. I could just imagine your birthday coming up, and you thinking about your birthday, but they're trying to prepare for whoever's before you.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
it's definitely that in itself builds character. It builds patience, right? You. It's when you're a only child, it's all about you.
Yep.
Right? Even
Yep.
if there's two, it's still really you and the other. But once you get out of like a two, you got three, four, five, it gets a little crazy. Because now you gotta sit here and you you have your birthday came great. It's all about you. Now you gotta get back in line and watch 20 other people get celebrated, before it gets back to you. And that's how it works in the real world, right? You might be up for promotion today, and it might be 2, 3 years before we get back to you on a promotion because we've got an entire, company to look out for and acknowledge people for so on and so on. So I feel like that those are the things that really build character. Some people take that and it kind of like dims their light, and then some people actually thrive. And it seems like you thrived from those life experiences.
Hey, most definitely. I have a determined spirit to really make it in this world. No one can rattle my faith. No one can rattle my confidence whatsoever. I have a purpose, and I understand that my purpose is bigger than my circumstances. And so that's the reason why I'm here today talking on your platform and giving people hope and also encouraging people that it's never too late. You know, when I went back to college, I went back to college at the age of 40, and I graduated with a bachelor's of science in business administration from Upper Iowa University. So my story is it's never too late. It is never too late to graduate. It is never too late to chase your dreams. It is never too late to celebrate. And that's what I'm doing. You know, my degree represents people from the inner city, or which you want to call people from the hood. My degree is for those people. My degree is for my siblings because I wanted to share it with them because they were the one that really helped me out when I was young. They were the one that spent ample time with me, teach me how to be patient, teach me to have character, teach me to be honest. And so my degree, like I said, is for people in the hood, the inner city, and also for my siblings, my mom and dad as well.
That works. Yeah, yeah. And I feel like our communities need more people like that, right? More people that they can look up to with a positive um, a positive influence. Unfortunately, you know, in our communities, we're told that you have to be an athlete, you have to be a musician, an actor to find success. And so for you to, you know, not only show that you can find success in another lane, but you did it at 40, which means you literally broke, you know, every statistic out there that says, hey, if you don't do it right out of high school, you're never going to get it done and all the above. So you did it at 40. So kudos to you for, you know, sticking it out. You know, it's not, like I said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. All right. And
Yes.
some people get frustrated because it's like, oh, I've been doing this longer, and they just started and they found success. Everyone's journey is different. Life is a marathon, it's not a race. And so the fact that, like I said, you was able to get done at 40, I mean, that's very major. That lets someone out there in their 20s that says, oh, I can't do nothing with myself, say, well, if he did it at 40, I could do it in my 20s.
Yes, 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 and I want to emphasize that I had learned it's about the journey, not the destination, because on my journey, I was able to stop by and see men and women and encourage them. Now, just imagine if I would have ignored those men and women on my journey, I wouldn't be here today. I would not be here today. So it was the journey that really helped me out. It will continue to be the journey. And I'm going to continue to strive for perfectionists. I'm going to continue to help men and women and also encourage them to be better, productive men and women in our society.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need those voices to help, you know, keep them, you know, moving in the right direction. More voices of inspiration. And I think that that's what people can get from your story. Coming from such a large family, coming from uh, such a time with so much history, right? And to still be able to come up, I think that in itself is a success. Just being able to overcome those times, that in itself is a success. So what um what would be your message? Like knowing what you know today, what would be your message to a younger you?
My message to a younger me will be about leadership. Leadership, I will let people know it's it's not about um, um, leadership is really not it's well let me tell you this, leadership is not about control, it's about service. Leadership is not about manipulation, it's about inspiration. Leadership is not inactive, it's about action, being active in the community, being active in people's lives. Leadership is not about it's not about power. It's about empowerment. So that's what I would say to a younger Paul Lamar Hunter. What is leadership truly about? And you got it. It's about inspiration. it's about service, it's about power, it's about action. And so that's what I will say to a younger Paul Lamar Hunter. And I wish I knew it what I know now back then. But
Yeah,
it was all
that,
timing. It
yeah,
was all
yeah.
timing. It was all God's timing.
That, timing is, it's perfect, right? So sometimes we don't understand why things are happening the way they happen and why they're flowing the way they're flowing, but God's timing is perfect. It's flawless. You can't rush greatness. Um, Rome wasn't built overnight, and it wasn't, destroyed overnight. So, your success won't be, overnight either. This, although to the naked eye, to the person that doesn't know you, the person that's not watching you grow and grind it out, to them, they'll say, he just came out of nowhere. Like, no, man, you missed the 10, 15 years this man was putting in the work. That's usually how that goes.
Yeah, that's why, I tell people all the time that, success does not happen overnight. If you look at the life of Mark Cuban, Dr. Ben Carson, uh, all of these different people, they'll tell you success did not happen overnight. And a lot of people, that's the way they look at it. Man, look at how successful this woman is, this man is. But they had to put in the time. They really did
Yeah.
put in the time, and I put in the time. I put in ample time, and now it's my time. It is my time to go out in this world and disperse nothing but positive words to men and women.
So your ideal goal, what's your ideal goal? Are you seeking to be able to touch stages, motivational speaking, work on a book, documentary? What's the goal to get your story out in regards to inspire
Well,
others?
Well, my goal right now, my book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child, it has been adapted into a screenplay. I had signed a deal with Tailflix. So the goal now is to get all the characters together to play the role. So I was talking to someone in the entertainment business, and they said, "Who do you think that would be a good person to play your mother?" And I said Vivica A. Fox. She would be a good person, a good actress to play my mother. And so that is the goal right now, is to get all the characters together to put this project on, and let's go to work, rolled up our sleeves, and let's go to work and get it done. And so one day you'll be able to take your wife, your kids to the movie theater and say, you know what? I interviewed this guy 6 months ago, or a year ago, or 2 years ago. You would tell your kids that story, that you had the opportunity to interview me. But in the meantime, when I'm out in society, I'm always speaking at the Boys and Girls Club. I love going back to speak to inner city kids and encourage them, because they need it. They need hope. They need encouragement. And I enjoy my time at the Boys and Girls Club. I enjoy my time as a basketball coach as well. I just enjoyed my time just in the presence of people, because I want them to be critical thinkers. I do not want them to let other people think for them. No, you think for yourself. You go in there and read and learn how to read for yourself and think for yourself. Don't have nobody else tell you what to do. You have to go out and seek the truth yourself.
Oh,
So uh,
take
I
the
just want
Bible
people to
tells you
be,
let no
yeah,
man deceive
yeah,
you. This is the Bible
yep,
tells you, man
hmm
deceive you.
yep.
So you mentioned being a basketball coach. Um, how does that work for you? And how do you get the youth to adapt to your level of coaching or your style of how do you deliver your message to them? Because when you're dealing with sports, it's a whole different level of uh, uh, mentality and influence that you got to have over them so they can respond to you. So how do you get the youth to, really get in line and perform at the level that you want them to?
Well, you know what? When I had coached my son basketball team, and I started off when they were young, second graders, and I remember having a meeting with the parents and telling the parents that, you know what, that we're not going to be a great team. I'm just going to be honest with you. After the evaluation, we're not going to be a great team, but I promise you,
Well, I mean, they're,
we,
they're second grade,
yeah,
so
So yeah,
any
they second
parent.
grade. They second grade, but because I wanted to set the expectations that that we're not going to be a great team, but in the future we're going to be a great team. And so I don't want parents to be disappointed because they have so much invested into their children. And you know how some parents, they think that their kids are superstars. No, there's some things that we need to work on, and I let the parents know that we're going to add to this team. We're going to subtract. And I am a basketball coach that I do not work on your strengths. I work on your weaknesses. The reason why I'm telling you this story because years later, uh, I, I end up coaching that team when they was teenagers to the championship game, and I remember talking to them before the game to let them know that we beat this team in the regular season by 18 points. But today is the day that we will win by 1, 2, or 3 points, and that's it. And I never forget a young man named Lamonte. He said, "Coach, we beat them by 18. We're going to do it again." I said, "Lamonte, today we will not do it. We win it by 1, 2, or 3 points. In the game, first quarter, we down 9 points. Second quarter, we down 7 points. Halftime, we down 7 points. Start of third, we down 7 points. The fourth quarter, we down 7 points. 2 minutes remaining in the game, we down 7 points. I call a timeout. It's your time. It's your moment. Let's go out and win it and shock the world." We came back and won the game by 1. The message, what you said, is very true. It's not how you start. It's how you finish.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I tell you. Not how you start, how you finish. So um, going back to going back into that. Do you still? So how long ago was that? Before I even go to that question, how long ago was that?
10 years ago, and let me tell you this, a lot of those kids today are in college. One is at the couple of them at the University of Wisconsin, couple of them is at Texas right now, Longhorns. And so I'm seeing what I had developed. Some of these players um, are in college. Even some of the players, because I'm 53 years old, are coaching Division 1 and 2 and 3 basketball. So I have that relationship with my players. And sometimes I go to the games, especially here in Texas, or whenever they're in town and they come into Texas. It could be in Dallas. I would go jump in the car, ride down by Dallas, and just see them there, because I really poured a lot into these kids, and now to see them adults and out there becoming productive men and women, and that's what it's all about. And I tell people all the time, it's not about me. It's about helping
And so,
others, and that's what it's about.
did your son continue to pursue basketball as well, or?
My son stopped playing basketball when he was like 19 years old. He did not want to pursue basketball anymore. He wanted to get into the music entertainment, and that's what he is pursuing.
Okay, okay. So what does he go by? That's interesting. See, because you have a book,
Yeah.
movie, you've coached some potential NBA players,
Yes.
and your son working on his music. So there's a lot of things that kind of attach to your tree. And we can double back to the basketball stuff, but this is your son, so that I would think that would warrant a little bit more of attention. So, what genre of music is he
uh,
doing?
he's into the rap music, and he goes by Zeke. And I'm gonna tell you this, that when the first time that he told me this, I was kind of like disappointed. But as a father, I had to take a step back and say, you know what, this is his dream. Let him do him. And I said, okay, you go and you do you. As long as you stay in school, get that degree, do you. Always have something to fall back on, because I always tell kids, a degree is good to have, but always have something to fall back on, just in case it does not work out. You can always have something to fall back on. But he's a good rapper, a good entertainer, and I wish him the best. I really do wish him the best.
You say he goes by Zeke?
Yep, Zeke.
EEK?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'll make sure to look him up and see how that's going for him. So you said you were disappointed. Was it because he stopped the basketball, or disappointed because he chose to be like a hip hop artist, a rap
A
artist?
rap artist. I because of potential and the time and the energy that I had put in him, you understand? And I was like, oh, okay, but I try to, give him the option because the rap game is, the music industry is very difficult. You understand, to break through,
Yeah.
and but he believes that he can break through. So I have to sit back as a father and watch him grow and watch him pursue his dreams because it's his dream. It's not my dreams. My dreams are totally different. So I'm
Yeah.
very 100% very supportive of him.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, support. Even though you don't agree with someone's vision, doesn't mean that we can't support it. I think that's
Mhm.
where a lot of people get lost in transition because just because we have a difference in opinion doesn't mean that we need to be at odds with one another behind it.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's his vision. God gave it to him, just like God gave me my vision. So yeah, let the dice roll where they supposed to roll.
That's it. Yeah, let it roll. So has he done any shows? Have you gone out to his shows and stuff like that?
No, I have not, but he has sent me some videos that him and his team has made.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, shout out to Rebellious Nature Active Gear. They said great father vibes. We as fathers can learn and adapt this lesson. So there you go. People giving you some real time flowers right there, man. And for those
Yep.
of you in the room, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap in with the brother, man. He's got a book out. He's got a story in being written up as we speak right now. So potentially you might see him on the big screen. Um, what else? What else would you say is a moment that you would like to shed light on? And because again, being the 19th child out of 21, that in itself, like I said, I could only imagine the obstacles. I know I wouldn't be able to spitball the name of my siblings. I have a hard enough time with my kids. I'm like I call my little sibling in the middle. So that shows the mental fortitude that you have to overcome challenges in life. And like I said, you got your degree at 40, showing people the time is not what they say it is, it's what you make of it. So what's a moment in your life that you would like to shed light on that people may not know about that would kind of speak to your level of resilience and your motives?
Well, the moment of my life is that in 1978, uh, I remember that the house had caught on fire. My brother Michael had retrieved everybody out of the house, but he couldn't get to my brother Thomas and me. So the firemen came in to rescue Thomas and I. And I never forget the fireman said that he did not think that Thomas was going to make it. So he grabbed Thomas and the other officer grabbed me and they went down the steps. And at the bottom of the steps, fire was just everywhere. So he said, how are we going to get out of here? The fireman looked and empty out the contents in both garbage cans and placed my brother in one and placed me up in one. And they rushed and bust right through the front window. And that's how Thomas and I got out. Thomas died a couple weeks later. I survived. I was burned on both of my arms and a little bit on my shoulder as well. And that death right there really shook me up. And as a 8-year-old child, it really bothered me for years and years and years to come because, still today as a 53-year-old man, when I hear the fire trucks, I have a flashback of my brother's, death. And it required me to get some help from a psychologist over the years and years and still up until to now. And so, because it really did bother me, because for years I thought, why him and why not me? And And looking back on it is because that, God had purpose for me. And in that purpose is that, that I was going to write a book. I was going to do speaking engagement. I was going to be a basketball coach. I was going to help write the screenplay. I was going to be on your platform. I was going to be in Ebony Magazine. I was going to be in Rolling Out Magazine. I was going to be in Black Enterprise Magazine. I was going to meet Dr. Phil. I was going to meet Vivica A. Fox. It was God purpose. And I tell people today that God purpose is always bigger than your circumstances. God purpose is always bigger than your vision.
Yeah, no, a lot of people, uh, underestimate the power of God.
Yes.
Um, and that's been some of this, it's since the beginning of time, unfortunately. And you're right. Sometimes we have our own ideas and our own visions of what we want to do or how we want things to go. And that's not the way God got it written for us. So that's why it don't go the way we want to at times. So you got to let go sometimes and let God take the wheel. And once you do that and actually pursue God wholeheartedly, like the Bible tells you to, then that's when things will start to make sense and realign. Um, so you said you were burned. Did you were you? I know back then you said 78. Back then they weren't as good as they are today. Um,
Yeah.
did you end up with like permanent scars from
I
it?
have
And
I have some permanent scars that's still on my arm. Yeah.
okay, uh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
No, the reason why I say it is because people don't understand like how these things have long
Yes.
term effects, right? People
Yes.
were in the fire. Oh yeah. Oh wow, you was in a car accident. Like, so when you said you hear the sirens going off, yeah, I can understand how that can give you PTSD because it'll take you back to a time in your life where, you said you were 8 years old.
Yeah.
So at 8 years, I mean that's a lot to digest. Now, was your brother Thomas, was he older or younger
He
than
was
you?
older than me. So Thomas ended up, like I said, he ended up passing away. He was 1 year older than me. And then, after that, like 9 months later, my father died in a car crash. So that really shook the Hunter family up. But we managed because the people in the community, because pastors, counselors, uh, good people in the neighborhood came out and blessed us, financially, also counsel us, also prayed with us. The people in the community in the 70s and 80s were totally different from this generation. So
Yeah, well,
so
the big disconnect. There's definitely a big disconnect between then and now. Um, I feel like there's been so many changes, so many things that have plagued our communities that have made it so there is such a disconnect. Back then you could definitely look at your neighbor and understand that if you wasn't home on time, your neighbor would open the door and let your kid in until you got around, or maybe give them a plate of food or something to drink. I grew up in the Bronx, and the Bronx is a bad reputation, but the Bronx is always going to be home to me. I'm proud to be where I'm from. I wouldn't want to change my upbringing for no one else's because it made me who I am today. I'm grateful for all my experiences, all the different scenarios that I had to encounter and overcome, because it prepared me for life, and it really showed me, like you discussed earlier, the value of having a home and a family. People, don't sit at the tables anymore. That's something that back then, we didn't have to worry about the time. We knew when them street lights came on, it was time to go inside. Like we
yeah.
understood. These are unwritten rules that we understood. You better get inside, wash your hands, wash your face, be at the table so you can eat this dinner. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about what you making. Oh, I don't want this today. It's what's on that table is what you was going to eat. And so it's definitely a different time. Um, but I feel it's because and I get a lot of BS behind this because the woman has been encouraged to be independent, to go out there and get their own. And I have nothing wrong with a woman contributing to a household, but I do have something against a woman being too committed to being outside, trying to provide more than take care of the home. The home is where everything is at. That's what the man is there for. The man is there to provide the tools necessary so that you can secure the home. And unfortunately, nowadays, the women are out there pursuing monetary success versus the success of a household, and they don't understand the value they bring to having a successful home. You know, making sure the kids are good, healthy, that they're well fed, that the work is being done properly. And these are the things, the gaps that I feel are missing, because we've replaced dollar signs with what's truly valuable to the household and to the individual. There's a lot of and I give this example all the time. You can go to Walmart right now and there's a homeless guy with a cup asking for change, but he's got a smile on his face. And you can go on Google News or YouTube News, whatever you follow, a millionaire slash billionaire committed suicide. Why is there such a disconnect? Why is there
Hmm.
such a disconnect? You get what I'm saying? It's the dollar signs will never equate to the true value of a parent investing into their child.
Yes.
Never.
Yes, yeah, you're absolutely right, and so that's the reason why I was able to invest into my children. They all adults, and I thank God because they don't give me any trouble. They are adults. The oldest just turned 30 years old, so
Okay.
but they don't give me any trouble. You understand? We have a great, amazing relationship. You know, and they FaceTime me. Sometimes they call me, and we just have good conversations. And sometimes I go and visit them. I have a daughter that's in North Carolina, and I'm getting ready to take a trip down there for a whole week to go visit her. And just I enjoy my children now, but I do miss those young days of taking them to school. And I remember that when my mom used to take me to school when she had the time, she used to pray for us before she took us to school. And she used to always say, God protect my children while they at school. And so it's interesting because I did the exact same thing, to my children when I used to take them to school, and I would sit in the car and hold their hands and we would pray. And then I would send them off and tell them that I love you.
Yeah, really, man. The power of prayer is something that gets overlooked, and anyone that knows me knows that I'm constantly, pushing, God on people, because I think that's the biggest disconnect we have in the world altogether. With all this alphabet stuff they got going on, where they push these different agendas, and that's not those aren't God's people. All right, I don't care who said you could read in the Bible. If you really read in the Bible, tells you that those people are an abomination. Those people, they shouldn't be among us. And so I always deliver that message over and over and over, because by removing God from the home, you open up the door, you open up the front door and every window for everything else, all the negativity to pour into your home. And so that's why unfortunately, in our communities, they'll glorify the guy that killed somebody, the guy that's selling drugs, the guy that stole a car, whatever, the guy that's got multiple women, right? But the guy that just came out of jail, he's glorified. But the guy that graduated college and is on his way to a six-figure career, he's a lame, he's a square. The that's committed to one man and raising a family, she's a square, she's a lame, right? But the one that's out, shaking her tail feather and pleasing multiple men, this is what's being glorified, and that's not God's way. And it starts at home. And so when you say the prayer and keeping the word, and as I speak it, I can reach right here and I can show you. I keep my book. I read the book like all the time, right? I don't do the churches, because unfortunately that's where you find most of the hypocrites. Most people don't even read the Bible, right? And
Yeah.
so therefore I don't do the church, because like I said earlier, the Bible tells you, let no man deceive you. So I read the Bible, I pray for understanding, and I try to share the message with everybody else that I can. So I think that you've done an outstanding job with your family, with putting the word of God into your children and into your home, bringing it into your home. And by doing that, you've done all that you could. Now, unfortunately, as they grow, it's up to them to make the right decisions with the tools that you gave them, because
Yes.
we can't control their decision making.
No, no. And I'm glad that you said that decision making, because I tell my kids, my phone is available to you 24 hours a day. I don't care if it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. If you are in need, you call me. And
Absolutely.
I remember my second daughter, she was going through some situation, and my phone had rung, after 11:30, and I picked up the phone, and I had talked to her for about an hour and a half, and I prayed with her, and I said, once I finish this project, I got to go do some stuff. I said, once the project is over with, I'm going to give you a call to see how you're doing. And so, that's a testament of who I am as a father to my children. I tell them all the time that I love you. I will always be there for you.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. People don't understand. Which is funny. It's funny that we even going to talk about this, because I have a part that's coming out where I'm shedding light on that, where I feel like there's a big, when you look at the statistics, why the youth fail so often is because, unfortunately, we have this mindset that, oh, they're 18, they need to get a job, they need to get out. And all we're doing is setting them up for failure, because unless you did the right thing as a parent and structured their future so that when they turn 18, you can give them 6 figures to go make better investments and better decisions. If you didn't put in your kids in those positions, then I don't think you should be forcing your kid out the door at 18. At 18, they're still kids. They're not prepared for what the real world is going to bring them. And if we're going to talk the real, most adults our age are still trying to figure it out. People are still going to a 9 to 5. They still working for somebody else. They still taking, rules and instructions and following someone else's format. So unless you really did your part and laid the ground game for your kids, at 18, you're going to tell them they got to get out. You're just setting them up for failure. It doesn't make sense. And you living in Texas, so right now the border thing is a big deal over there. I'm pretty sure that's all you hear over there, right?
Yes, yes.
And here's the difference from the people that come to this country versus the people that are from this country. Us in this country, we don't have unity. We don't stick together, right?
Yes.
So you can have a 4 or 5 bedroom house, and it's just you. That's it, just you. Guess what those families will do? They'll bring in as many people as they can in there, and they'll all bring their income into that one household, and they'll pay off that house, and then they'll buy another and another and another. Instead, for us, now look at my house. I'm flexing on you. Why? Why not help them out? Why are we so eager to push our people out
Yeah.
to fail so
Mm-hmm.
that we can look better? And that's where we go wrong. I tell people all the time. I tell my kids, you don't gotta leave. I won't stop you from leaving, but you don't have to leave. Where as long as there's a roof over my head, it's over your head. It's your choice. When you're ready to go out and deal with the world, by all means, you go out there and deal with the world. But I would never push my kids out to the world until they feel that they're ready.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't ask to be here. I brought them into this world. They didn't ask to be here. And so, again, going back to what you were saying, I think that you've done a great job at raising your children, right? You've made sure that you led by example, and the most important thing you've done is, like I said, you put God, you introduced them to God. What decisions they make after that is solely on them.
Yeah.
We got coming in, says prayer is definitely a loss in the household and community. 18 to 21 is the tutorial for life. What? It's the changing point from going from a kid to an adult. I don't know that we can. I don't know. Like I said, I knew because I cut people off. I knew people in their 30s that still thought like a teenager. I don't think you become an adult by age, right? It's based on your actions, your level of maturity, your level of understanding. It says Jewish people do that a lot. I don't think it's a race thing. There's a lot of Latinos, there's a lot of blacks that actually put their families in a better position. It's a mindset thing, right? If you change your mindset, you can change the outcome of things, right? I come from the ghetto. I'm from the Bronx. I come from a single parent home household. I see my mom grind it out and struggle. And one of my pods, I mentioned it where my mom is the biggest hustler that I know. And she didn't sell drugs, but she was hustling to make sure that her kids was good. She had her job. She had side jobs, little whatever she did to take care of us. So I don't think it's a racial thing more as it is a mindset, right? We become comfortable with our environment, and I don't know. I mean, what's your take on that? What do you think is the things that hinder us as a people from growing?
I think that right now there's a lot of distractions going on. We are glued to our cell phones,
Yep, yep,
and we just are a total disconnect from people. I know people that come in here from foreign countries, and they moved in one house. They paid that house off. Then they bought another house, paid that house off, and it was just amazing to see how they came from Iraq and they had a mindset that was totally different from Americans. And they got on their feet right away and they were working. It was six families in this home, this 3 bedroom home, but they made it work.
yep.
They was all working together to pay this house off. They took their taxes and they paid the house off within 5 years.
Yeah,
Got another one
yep,
and did the exact same. So now all the six families have a home. Then they start saving up money to purchase a store. And they did that. They did that.
yeah.
Now
No,
they have a successful grocery
it's the
store
mind.
in the
It's,
community. It's really is the mindset.
it's the mindset.
I can't hate on them because I know people that say, well, they come over here and the government give them this and they, but there are some people that came over here and they hustle. They put in the work. So you have to acknowledge that. Don't hate on them. Appreciate
Appreciate.
what they did.
Learn from them. Learn from them.
Yes.
Here's the thing, right? Sure, they when they get here, they may get some assistance. There's people that in this country that get assistance for how many years? You get your rent paid, you get food assistance, you get whatever else that comes with it, free benefits. You get all of this stuff because you live below that threshold, as they call it. So if you're getting all these different levels of assistance and you're not taking advantage of it, what does that say about you as an individual, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reality. The difference is that, like you said, they got their taxes and they put it towards paying off their home. The average person gets their taxes and what they're doing, buying big TVs, we're getting sneakers, jewelry, used car, and we're broke. Everybody watch Instagram. Everybody's balling from February to April. That's it. It's over,
Yep.
right? They're gonna vacations, their trips, everything's gonna happen between February and April. And what happens for the rest of the year? And that's the difference. I preach 3D vision, which is discipline, dedication, determination. And people, if people can start to apply those 3Ds to their life, they'll find success in the things that they're after. Um, and man, I'm intrigued, man. I like it. I like the way you think. I like your views. So walk me back. When you was in school, I like to go back. When you was in school, what kind of a student were you? Like, and did you go to school? How many of your siblings did you go to school at the same time? Because I know that plays a role too. Like knowing that I got my siblings here with me. So how was that for you at school?
When I was in grammar school, middle school, and high school, I at least have had about 6 to 8 siblings in that school. And I'm gonna tell you this: when we got to high school, nobody messed with us because they knew if you fought one, you
Before,
have to fight all.
yeah.
And so one time when we were in high school, my sister got into a physical altercation during lunchtime with this other girl. And man, the hunters came out of nowhere. And we were
The
going
hunt.
at it. So you got to understand this too. When you're dealing with the hunters, and some of my nieces and nephews, I told you, are older than me, so they were at the school as well. So that person really did get a beat down that day. But when that happened, nobody in that whole entire school messed with us
Yeah, they knew
anymore.
what was gonna come behind it. So actually, now that you said it, makes me think. So it was 21 total. How many boys? How many girls?
It was 11 girls, 10 boys. And if my mother was alive today, she would tell you that those girls gave her problems.
I hear that from everybody. I was blessed to have. I have 4 boys, so I was blessed not to have to deal with the headaches of daughters. But I hear that from everybody. Everybody has daughters. They all say the same thing, man. One girl is equal to like 3 boys. So in
and
that
I'm
scenario, God hooked me up with 4 boys.
yeah, so and I have 2 girls and 2 boys. And I tell you the truth, them 2 girls gave me problems. But after their teenage years, they was okay.
Gotcha. So we've covered the book, which again, share the title of the book and let the people know where they can find the book as well.
The book is available at Amazon, also Barnes and Noble bookstore. The title of my book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child. No love, no charity, the success of the 19th child. The book is a hot commodity. It's a parenting book. So you need to go out and get the book because this book, I'm telling you the truth, it will really change your life.
So the title is intriguing to me. No love, no charity. That to me, and I'm gonna tell you where my mind goes, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm just gonna tell you no love, no charity. I'm gonna uh, and then right, the story of the 19th child, right? The
Yep,
19th,
the success of the 19th child.
right? Success of the 19th child. So no love to me would be me being the 19th child. Like I spoke on earlier. You're behind. You fall behind.
Yes.
So many have to wait your turn, and so it could feel like there's no love there, right? And then no charity is like no one ain't giving you nothing, so you got to go out and find your way. Hence the success of the 19th child. Now I haven't read the book
Yeah.
yet, and I will order it and I will support it. Now my question is, how close am I to that being the meaning behind this title?
You probably are about 65%, but I can't tell you what it actually means because I want you to go out and get the book so you can increase
Absolutely.
your knowledge.
Yeah, and that's what I tell folks, man. Again, like just like uh, God being removed from the home, reading because everything's on your phone. Reading has been removed, right? So reading is fundamental. Break it down. Reading is fun to mental. You need to really increase your mind by reading. I don't care what it is. Like back when I was coming up, the newspaper, even though I only read the sports section, that was for me, that was enough for the day because it was constant. I read that and I read comics. Shout out to my man Streets in the room, man. That's my brother from another man. Me and this guy, we go back to damn near elementary school, man. So shout out to my brother for joining us. So yeah, so reading is so important because your mind gets stronger. The more you read, the more knowledge you take in, you can improve. There's so many people that get confused with just small, like regular words, and they can't spell them properly. And it's like, I know what failed you is this texting. You get used to shorthanding the text messages, and now guess what? You start writing that way. You start spelling that way. So
Hmm.
reading is fundamental.
Yeah, so there's a guy named Papa Duck. He always, say this, never educate the people you want to dominate. So our society, um, political figures, activists, leaders, they don't want you to be educated because if you are educated, you will cause problems for them because they can no longer lie to you or deceive you anymore, and
Well, here,
you'll know what's going on.
aside from that, I'll take it even a little deeper than that. Going back to the Bible, right? What does the Bible say, right? If you want to hide something from my people, put
Yeah.
it in the book. All right, that's the reality. of it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's scripture. You know what I'm saying? That's biblical. And so yeah, man, we need more people like you that are out here pumping the right message, right? Unfortunately, we need people that look like us so that we can connect better, because
Yes,
there are giving the same message, but it don't resonate the same because, they don't come from our community. So you coming from an inner city, you coming from a large family, you dealing with, poverty and the loss of a sibling, loss of your dad, dealing with all of these things and still finding success. This is what's going to resonate with the people in our
yes,
communities.
yes. Because you know what? Even though I experienced so much hardship, one thing I didn't do is use excuses. I did not do that. And I tell young people today, never use excuses because all excuses do, they hold you back. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not successful because my mother didn't teach me how to read. My mother wasn't there for me. My father didn't do this for me. No excuses. When you stand before God, God doesn't want to hear your excuses.
Truth, yeah, yeah. Truth be told, that's what it comes. We're gonna be judged on our actions, not on our words. People think that they can talk their way through life, and it doesn't work that way. Your actions is what's gonna really set you apart from everybody else.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So, um, um, what would you what would you say is the highlight, like the highlight moment for you, when we speaking of success, right? Because I tell people, everyone measures success differently,
Yes,
and I've been able to find success in many different lanes, but I know what for me is the most successful uh, part of my story. So, what would you say is the most successful part of your story?
I think graduating college, graduating college, walking into that institution, knowing that there's only one direction that you can go, and that's up. And I elevated my game academically. I surrounded myself with positive men and women. And graduation was the milestone. That was successful because when you walk in to receive that degree, tears is coming down your eyes, reflecting on what people said that you couldn't do, and you accomplish it, and you put everything to rest of what people said about you negatively, and now you able to grab on to the to that championship, and I was able to grab on to that degree, which was my championship. And
Yeah,
that was success for me. That was the highlight in my life. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. I don't care if you've been beaten up spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, you can bounce back from any failures. I don't care what men and women have said about you. You can go out there and pursue that championship because you have it. If God wakes you up every morning, He's waking you up because you have purpose. Just go out and pursue your dreams. And that's what I was able to do, is get up in the morning and pursue my dreams. Do you know it took a lot of faith, fortitude, and determination to get up every day to walk into that university. And there's times when you wanted to give up, but what kept you going was your faith, your fortitude, and your determination.
yeah, yeah. No, you have to, again, discipline, dedication, determination. How bad do you want it, right? When you want it as bad as your next breath, that's when you'll finally attain it. And I think people fail to realize, you know, what it takes, the journey to see someone reach that level of success. People, oh, they're lucky. No, they're not lucky. They were dedicated. They were disciplined. They stuck to it. They had a plan and they saw it through. And so I think that that's like the main thing that makes people fall short, is that when it starts to get rough, they want to change direction. There's no more grit. People fail to push through. I like to tell people, you have to get through the suck to find success. right? And so the second things start to suck a little bit, then they don't want to do it no more, and that's why they don't get to actually get the success out of whatever it is they started. Me personally, um, I feel uh, my success, my greatest success, aside from all the things I've been able to overcome, I'll give you a quick backdrop on me. I am not a college grad. I'm actually a high school dropout. I had the opportunity to go to Syracuse on a D1 scholarship or Penn State, but my GPA dropped. And so once those scholarships were revoked, then I was just done with school at that point. I'm from the Bronx. I was in the streets. I was a knucklehead. I had kids early, all of the above. I was like the stereotype. I was the poster child for what the statistics said that the inner city kid was supposed to be, right? I did all of the above. Okay. I overcome that. I've never been in prison, all right? So that's one stat that I was able to overcome, okay? That's on my side. Cool. Um, I had kids early, and statistics would tell you that my kids would be without a father. Well, I beat that. I have 4 children with the same woman. We've been together 20 plus years. So for me, that is my greatest success. I've I've owned a successful business, a transportation company, right? I run a successful podcast with over 1 million streams in multiple different countries. So definitely found success in different lanes. But for me, the greatest success is being able to maintain my household where I have 4 boys. They all respect me. I have my wife, been with the same woman for over 20 years. That to me is my greatest success because I come from a broken home where I was raised by a single mother. So the idea of, well, I didn't have a father, I don't know how to be one, that's BS, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like we discussed earlier, it's the decisions we make that will define our legacy, define who we are as individuals.
Hmm. Yes, yes, yes. And one thing I want to emphasize is that God uses anybody. I'm not getting into heaven because I have a degree. That degree really don't mean
Mm-mm.
anything. All it says that I have discipline to learn anything. But God uses anybody, and He
Yeah,
does.
it's based. I always find that, right, because I feel like people get caught up in transition, and so a lot of people may read the Bible, but I don't think they fully digest and process the Bible. And there's a lot of little subtle things in there that will really define if a person is really. People say, "Oh, God knows my heart." Yeah, but there's a there's a fine line between Him knowing your heart and you actually appeasing Him, right? Where it says, to love me is to keep my commandments. And people who say, well, I don't cheat, I don't steal. There's a lot of other things that go along with that, right? There's a dietary law. People say, oh, that was the Old Testament. Well, you show me where He did away with it. And the Bible will tell you that, He didn't come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. So therefore, these things are still in effect till this day. It gets a little deep, obviously, but these are the lessons that people tend to overlook, like going to church on Sunday, where that's the first day of the week, and the Bible tells you to rest on the seventh day, which would be the Sabbath day, and those are all the little things. So when you read the scripture and the Bible tells you what to love me is to keep my commandments. So to keep His commandment, one of the commandments is what to keep the Sabbath day holy. These are like little pieces that people tend to miss, but not only do they miss it in the Bible, but they miss it in life. You can tell someone, I need you to go do this. And you can give them the exact step by step, and they'll still get it wrong because they'll miss that one step. And that one step will throw it all off.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes.
So we've covered your book, we've covered your coaching, um, which actually going back to the coaching thing, out of and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Out of all the players that you have coached and that are at collegiate level now, um, who did you feel you connected to the
Who,
most?
say that again? Who? What?
Who did you feel you connected to the most?
To be honest, I connected to all of them. I still have a relationship with all of them because some of them, like I said, are school teachers, principals, Division I coaches, and some of the students are athletes. So they still call me. I connect to all of them, and it's amazing because uh, the guys that I had coach, their fathers were absent in their lives, and they would call me dad sometimes. So I was more like a father figure to them, and we still have a great relationship to this day. And my job as a coach was to give them the tools and also be a great role model to them. And
Got
and and I completed my mission. Um, and so I have a granddaughter right now, and my daughter wants me to start coaching her in basketball. And I told her, I said, I really don't want to do it. I want to take a new route. And she said, "What's that?" I said, "Tennis. I think she'll be good at tennis because she has um, great footwork as a 5-year-old." So we're gonna start that task, and I'm going to be diving in and learning all that I can about tennis and getting my granddaughter some tennis lessons so she can be the best that she can be.
okay. Yeah, no, listen, that's the beauty of it, that mind and showing them this more than just one way of approaching
Yeah.
life. At the age of 5, right? At the age of 5 today, it's basketball. Tomorrow's tennis, and then the next day it's Barbies. Like she don't care for sports no more.
Yeah.
Then it's the bike, and then
That,
coloring, and then she's a princess. And so,
hmm
yeah, at the age of 5, it's just good to definitely encourage them,
hmm
to pursue. But yeah, I definitely like when we spoke earlier. You mentioned second graders and these parents, and I'm like, these parents are crazy to think that second graders are going to be great. And not to say that you don't have some that are average, but a second grader is like it's a bit much. But I understand that because I did coach Pop Warner football, and some of these parents are, they have these outrageous expectations of what their kids can and can't do.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. But I still talk to the kids. I also talk to some of their parents, and with the parents that we have a great relationship. And if their kids don't call them or don't send them a text message, they kind of concerned, and they would call me. "Have you heard from my son?" "Yes, I heard from your son. He's doing all right. I'll tell him to give you a call." You understand? And I have to tell my some of them that don't have a great relationship with their parents is that your parents are not perfect. They couldn't give what they didn't have, so appreciate them right now. And so I say that to some of my siblings today, that our parents was not perfect, but they couldn't give what they didn't have because they grew up in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Their trials and tribulations were totally different from ours. So we cannot judge them. We just can't judge them. But what we can do is love them and continue to love on them.
Yeah, no, that's the key to it. Understanding. What I tell people is you don't really understand what a parent goes through until you become a parent yourself.
Yep.
Um, I think being a parent is one of the hardest jobs in life because you have to find the balance between providing, uh, uh, caring for them, right, but also being a uh, uh, individual in their life. Because if I always say I'd rather be the one to discipline them than to let life discipline them. Right, life is going to be a lot more harsh. If I can teach you these lessons now, hopefully we can avoid some of the bigger the bigger headaches down the line.
Hmm. Yes. Yes.
So, um, book's out right now. How long has the book been out? Actually, I meant to ask that.
The book came out in 2012 when I graduated, and it's still selling today. Um, I have another book that's going to be two more books that's going to be coming out. One that's going to be coming out in 2025 on Valentine's Day. I can't share that title with you right now. And then I'm gonna have one coming out in July of 2025 as well. So it's going to be interesting for those other two books. but it will really change, people's lives in 2025, and I just want to talk about the book that's coming out in July. I want to talk about some issues and that is happening in our society when it comes to uh, our politicians getting on television and lying to us, and our lawmakers are making laws that uh, is being dispersed on middle class people and poor people. And just because they make the law doesn't apply to them. So who are you? You know, who are you to say that if poor people, middle class people break the law, you're going to punish them. But if you go out and break the law, you don't get punished. You know what I'm saying? It goes away. So, I don't like the ideal of lawmakers making laws and they breaking them themselves.
Yeah, yeah, no, I I, I follow you 100% on that. I think ultimately for me, everything comes back, to the Bible, and it's like people. I think we put too much energy and too much effort into the politicians, and when you go out there and vote, you're selecting your master. You're choosing your master. That's
Yes.
what it comes to, right? You're choosing your master. I serve God. Um, I'm not voting for nobody. Ain't nobody getting my vote. I made the mistake once in my life of voting, and just because I kind of like I was disconnected from the book. So that just goes to show you how important having the Word of God in your life is, right? Because you cannot be a part of the world and you cannot serve God. You cannot serve two masters at
You
once. It
can't
doesn't work.
serve two. That's what the Bible said.
That's
You
what
can't
the Bible says.
serve two
And
masters.
so,
You're either gonna love
yeah,
one or hate the
yeah,
other.
you want to be in this world, right? Or you want to be in this truth. And so I choose to be part of the truth, not part of the world. But that's just me as an individual. But I think that's where people go wrong most. We put too much effort and energy into these politicians. We choosing our masters essentially, and we focus on everything that we can't control. I focus on things that I can control. I don't focus on what I can't control. You know what I mean?
Yes, 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 yes. Hmm.
So I see you got the hat on with the Chiefs and the
Yes,
Niners.
yes, yes.
Who's
Yeah.
your pick?
Well, my mother, 21 children, my mom and dad, my siblings are Packer fans, and I'm the only 49ers fan in the family. So
So
this
you just like
next
the
Sunday,
odd guy the entire time, huh? You're
yeah.
the only
So
graduate. You're the only Niner fan. What else, man? What you
so
got going
so
on?
next Sunday, I'm picking my 49ers
Hey,
because this is unfinished business.
I'm starting to feel like at this point you do it on purpose. What are they doing? I'm doing now. Ah, that's dope. I will say to you that I'm not a Niners fan.
Okay.
I don't think they win. Um, because of Brock Purdy, I don't think you have a good. I don't think he's a real quarterback. You guys should have lost to the Packers. Um, should have lost to the Lions. Brock Purdy does everything he can to throw the game away. He can't throw the ball past 10 yards. Um, you guys got Debo. You guys got McCaffrey. You got a solid defense, right? So, it's possible. But a team like the Chiefs, which by the way, I hate to see them in there because they beat my Bills. So, but if I'm gonna be a betting man, I'm gonna bet that the Niners are gonna choke like they did the last time. The last
Well,
two
you know
times
what?
they choked
You mentioned those
against the Bears,
two.
and they choked against the Chiefs last time around.
Yeah,
So
but you know what? It's a new team. We got new players. But you mentioned something like I said. I pay attention to what you say, and it's not how you start; it's how you finish. That's the reason why we were able to come back and beat the Packers and beat Detroit. So that's the reason why we in the Super Bowl. And if we have to go down again and come back and beat the Chiefs, we'll do it. But I think that this time we're gonna put them away. It's really truly about unfinished business. with them. I think that the 49ers will win at least about 17 to 21 points. I think this is strictly business with us. Strictly
Hey,
business.
if your guys can pull it off, kudos to you guys. But I like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight, so for me, it's season. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping
Yeah.
for a good competitive outing. But if I gotta sit here and put my money on somebody, I gotta go with the Chiefs. They're explosive offense, multiple weapons, possibly the best quarterback in the league is on their team. They got a solid defense. Purdy struggles against different coverages. So I don't know. Debo's not 100%. McCaffrey's not 100%. I think Kittles is overrated. He's just an oversized guy that can catch a bit, but I think he's overrated. So, yeah, I'm not a fan. But it's all good.
Well, I tell you what. I tell you what. Well, next Sunday, I will send you a message and say, "Hey, we did it."
Hey, like I said, hey, I'm a fair guy. I'm not by no means am I like I don't hate on no team. I think that all those guys deserve all the credit, even the guys on the bad teams, because it takes a lot just to get to that level.
Yes.
So I'm not ever going to sit here and bash anyone this at any level, whether you're at an elite level or you're working your way up. The fact that you're committed enough to put in the work, who am I to bash it? I'm just from a betting, like I said, betting standpoint. If I had to put money, I
Yes.
definitely would go with the Chiefs. But all those guys are obviously, I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I don't think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, but he's better than me. You know what I'm saying? He can definitely throw the ball better than me. So I'm just saying, in comparison to who he's going up against and the experience, and there's just a lot of things that go into that. But whoever wins. Great for them. It ain't my team, so. um,
Yep.
so. So yeah, I mean, we've covered the book. We've covered the 19 out of 21. We got some clarification on that because, like I said, I was kind of like baffled by it because I wouldn't know where to start with the names. I wouldn't know where to start with even my place in line, or how does one develop their own character from all that, right? Because there's so many different personalities that you have to counter on a regular basis that I, I'm like I said, I'm baffled by it. But blessings to you and your family, blessings to your parents for one, for being that example of unity, right? Being that symbol of love. And I can guarantee you, I've been with my wife 20 plus years. We got 4 boys. I can guarantee those years weren't easy, but they found a way to make it work. They found a way to keep bringing life into this world. And so, blessings to, you said that they both perished since. So, my condolences on that behalf, and but blessings to your family. And actually, $1 million question for you, being that you come from such a big family and you've seen your parents be together, was that the same situation for you? Were you able to have all your children with the same woman?
I got 3 with one, and I got 1 with another woman. That's
Gotcha,
it.
gotcha.
Hmm.
Now, was that ever like a thing? Did you ever think about that, or did it just happen that way?
Uh, I always wanted to have my children with one woman, but things did not work out. We departed in 2010 when she moved my kids down here to San Antonio, Texas. We basically outgrew each other. So I always wanted to have all my children by one woman, but it did not happen. I'm just blessed to have all 4 of my children, two daughters and 2 sons.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's that. I tell people all the time, right? In life, the only thing that we ever truly have is our children. Because your
Hmm.
wife, you choose her, she chooses you. But if she gets tired of you, or you get tired of her, you leave each other. Your dog might love you, he might run away one day, right? Uh, so the only things in life that's ever truly yours is your kids and the bills. All right, the bills will always be there. They'll show up no matter what you got going on in life. You happy, you sad, you upset, the bill will be there, and the kids will always be your kids. So that's always my message to the people, man.
Hey, That's a great message.
Um, so your youngest is a boy.
Yeah, he's 19.
So
And
is
my second son is 24, and my daughter is about to be 27 on the 17th of this month, and my other daughter is 30 years old. She turned 30 last Sunday.
nice. So you went girl, girl, boy, boy.
Yeah, uh-huh. That's the way
Man,
it worked out.
that's yeah,
Hmm.
that's wild. That's wild. That's what's up, man. So I mean, it's definitely been a pleasure sitting here talking with you, man. I'm gonna again drop the title of the book for those that are gonna listen to the part later on. Drop the title for the book and where they can find it again.
No love, no charity. The success of the 19th child. That book is available on Amazon and also Barnes and Noble bookstore. Go out and get the book. The book is a game changer. Yes, my mother birthed 21 children by my dad. She stayed pregnant for 15 years. 15 straight years. It's a true American story. 17 of us living today, 63 grandchildren, and 87 great grandchildren. And if you want me to come and speak, please go visit my website, paullamarhunter.com. Paullamarhunter.com. I am on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok under the name Paul Lamar Hunter.
That'll work, man. Um, um, with with that being said, I tend to do something where I would select a couple of the followers that show the most interest in potentially getting like an autograph copy over. How would we be able to go through such a process? Is that something that you would be interested in doing?
I Well, if you wanted me to give out a book autograph copy, or you just inbox me and let me know, and I will send an autograph copy by mail to that person's address.
Okay. Okay, so I will coordinate with you outside of this, so that way we can break it down. It won't be right now anyway because I want to give the part time to stream and get people's feedback, and then basically what it comes down to who really engaged with the pod, and then you don't want to just give it to anybody. You want to give it to someone that you know is going to actually put it to use, and they're going to be able to build off of that, and word of mouth to me to this day is still the best form of promotion. So when you can impact someone's life that way, they will make sure to share it with others. And so I would cover the cost on the book. We would just need your signature on it, and then I'll give you the details on how to connect with that individual. You mentioned speaking at events. Do you have anything coming up where people can meet you at, or are you planning any pop-up shots or meet and greets?
Right now, I just been focused on trying to get all the characters together with this talent agency. We trying to get all the characters together for the movie. The speaking engagement right now is just probably once a month. If I'm out of town, I hit up the Boys and Girls Club. I call them a month in advance. Hey, I'm coming out. I'm doing this podcast show or I'm doing this television show. I would like to stop by the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
They'll ask who I am. I give them the information, go to my website. This is what I did for other Boys and Girls Clubs. And so I would like to come over and just speak words of encouragement. So,
That works.
yeah,
That works. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
That works. No, I told you earlier, man. I think that's great that you do, man, because the youth definitely need more people like you, more people with a positive mindset that are moving in a positive direction that they can grow and learn from. So again, man, salute to you for everything that you're doing. Keep leading the charge, man. Keep driving the positive message. That's what my part is about. I like to enlighten people. I teach them how to start businesses and how to run a business, how to itemize, when it comes to tax season and things of that nature. So I put all of that stuff out there for free. There's no gimmicks. There's no click this link and sign up. You listen to the pod, you take your notes, and you should be over at with that. I'm always available to answer questions. And so you seem like you have that same kind of energy. And this is the type of people I like to connect with. I don't have time for that negativity. There's enough of that in the world.
Yes.
We need more positive energy out here, man. So again, thank you for your time. It's truly been a pleasure. Thank you for answering my questions, because I was like, 21 kids is like insane, right? And so, I always like to make the joke. Well, I guess that's the privilege or the luxury of not having TV, right? But yeah, man, you've been a great sport. You've answered the questions. We've shared a couple good laughs, and so I look forward to your continued success. I will continue to stay in touch with you. Any promotional material you have, send it to me. I will share it for you. That's something that I provide for all my guests, right? Because the more, unfortunately, if it was something ignorant and negative, everyone will pick up on it. But
Yeah.
because your message is positive, it's not everyone's going to gravitate to it. Well, I'm one of those platforms that will share your material, that will put it out to the people, that will encourage them to look out for you, what you got going on. So, in regards to the social space, you can always count on me to support you, what you got going on. And again, I continue to wish you much more and newfound success.
All right. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. You have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. I'm wrapping it up now. As y'all seen, I was on with Mr. Paul Lamar Hunter, published author. He's got his book out right now. He told you guys where to find it. You guys can check him out at his website, paullamarhunter.com. And if you guys want to just tap in with them and touch bases with them, whatever it is you're looking to do, that's going to be the best way to contact and communicate with him. I will personally be putting out 5 copies of his book. He agreed to sign them, so I'll be looking for 5 individuals that are interested in reading the book, and I will have him autograph the books, and I'll have him mail them out to you guys, and we can go from there, man. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Always appreciate the support that I get from you guys. I was just made aware that we're over 1 million streams on Spotify, so that to me was major. And just thank you to everybody that's been supporting the pod. I got a couple events coming up, so I'll be dropping a clip on the IG so everyone can drop their cities. I'm actually going to go on a 10-city tour. We're going to do some pop-ups. I'm going to have some local guests pop out in those cities as well to sit with me. So if you are interested in having me come by your city, if you are looking for some sort of assistance with some resources and connecting with other individuals, make sure you either drop me a DM or get in the comment section, and I'll make sure to add you guys to the list. But the 10 cities that I will be visiting will be in that post. So again, thank you for your time. I'm Coach Fig, and I'll catch you on the next one.